Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark movies and mysteries.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark movies and mysteries.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark movies and mysteries, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh, hey, everybody.
A lot happened during that song, Brand. Brian looked over and looked shocked that he forgot he had a drink.
Forgot about it. Sitting
Like,
there.
wow, I forgot this. I forgot I had a drink. And then he drank it and spilled it on himself. And then he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it.
Don't
I'm
worry
good."
about that.
Where'd you
And he
spill
kept
it?
going.
I thought I did.
No,
yeah,
you
he's
look
good to go.
great.
I swore I spilled it on myself.
I just, it was a short theme song, but Brian made it all count. Every single second of it.
Every beat.
That's right.
You guys hear about Lil Tay?
Lil Tay?
Lil Tay.
Back in the
The
news?
Little Tay.
Lil Tay. So Lil Tay was someone I didn't know existed until last week, or this
Really?
weekend. Lil Tay apparently went viral in 2018 for being a young kid, 9 years old, but like has more money than you, and it's like.
Yeah.
Then it came
Love
out
those kids.
that
Yeah.
then it came out that Lil Tay didn't actually have any money,
Oh.
and like her mom was a real estate person, and like they would go into the people's houses and they'd make videos and blah blah blah. Lil Tay then disappeared, didn't hear anything from Lil Tay, and then it came out last week that Lil Tay died.
Ooh.
And then it came out that that wasn't true.
I saw this part of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
now
just
here
got-
we are
yeah, yeah,
today.
Yeah, here we are today. That's right.
What's up with that?
What up with
That's
that?
crazy.
Can I ask you this?
Please do.
Would you ever, and I mean this,
Yeah.
fake your own death?
Would I-
Different question. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to attend your own funeral?
Oh, everybody's thought of that, right? You see who shows up. You see what they say.
So, but
about
if you fake your own death, you can do that.
That's right.
Good.
You can.
Have you
disguise.
put a lot of thought into this?
Yeah, I have. Here's
Oh,
who
what
I
do
would
you
like
think?
to go to my
Yeah.
funeral, and I
Okay.
guess this is an open invite. Barry Bonds.
casket
Barry
invite.
Bonds.
Barry Bonds,
Okay.
front row. Second row, he gets the whole row to himself. He can bring who he
Oh,
wants
this is
to.
like a draft.
This is-
fantasy draft
Yes.
funeral.
Number
The second
two,
pick in Brand's fake funeral.
you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Right
Yeah.
after Bonds.
Right after Bonds.
Okay.
And then number three, Little Bunny Foo Foo.
And I know he's retired, but no Mark McGuire?
Well, yeah, Mark McGuire.
Okay.
He's retired.
so.
Who would you guys invite to your funeral?
I just found out through the comments that Little Tay was a real thing and not a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
No
not doing
idea.
a bit.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
Yeah,
about
Lil Tay's not dead, guys.
That's
Yeah.
right.
For those
Lil
of you
Tay's
that
not
went to
dead.
bed, that one night thing Lil Tay
I
died.
thought we were about to have Little Tay on the line.
No,
I
no.
thought we were going to do
thought
a
a whole
voice.
thing?
I
Lil
thought there was a
Tay,
whole thing
this
that
was
gonna happen.
this was a wild 24 hours for me.
Lil Tay
I
could be on
thought
the line.
I found out that Lil
They're
Tay
alive.
died, and then I had to do the research to find out who Lil Tay was.
Yeah.
And was just fascinated by Lil Tay's story. Then the next day I wake up and Lil Tay's not dead.
Is her mom called Big Tay?
No, Dan,
Okay.
come on.
I know that who I couldn't invite to my fake funeral would be Lil Tay because I feel like that's a giveaway. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
start
that's a
inviting
fake.
people.
You
Yeah,
start
yeah.
inviting people
So,
that have faked their own
Lil
death.
Tay's out.
That's right.
Has anybody ever successfully faked their own death?
I'm
You
sure
don't
there
know?
are
I don't
people
think we
that-
know. Who's
There's
that guy?
a movie
Who
called
jumped out of the plane and stole DB Cooper.
Oh, yeah, I
Right?
saw the DB Cooper
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Get Low about a dude who attends his own funeral. This is a true story.
Oh, it's
But
true.
Yeah, but it's got Robert Duvall in it,
Yeah.
and I believe Bill Murray. It's a really great movie, actually. Yeah, you should check it out.
Million?
No, Million did not make it. That's Dip It Low.
Dip It Low.
Dummy.
Got it.
Similar concept, though.
All right, well, we handled the
Yeah, we got Little Tay.
Little Tay's out of the way. All right,
What
let's
else
talk
we
about
got?
Big Sky
Yeah,
River.
okay, good.
Big Sky River.
River.
Here's an interesting thing that I just realized.
This
I don't.
movie's terrible.
August 11th.
Why
I've got
am I?
pumpkin spice on the mind. August 11th, 2023 is when it premiered. I have Big Sky River, The Bridal.
Bridal
and
Path.
The Bridal Path.
Bridal
Okay,
Path.
I just
Finish
left
it
out
off.
the last word.
Yeah, The Bridal.
The Bridal.
on Safari.
On Safari. And it went a little something like this. Tara and Boone are talking on the phone. They're flirting about chickens and stuff. She's in the city because Erin, who we all remember, we remember her.
Yeah, of
She
course.
is her stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Needs
And
to
it's
go-
Not Avery Peters.
Needs to go to her dad's gender reveal party.
No. 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 No.
Sort
no,
of.
No.
A little bit. A
No.
little bit.
Oh,
Saying we
no.
should be able to have a little.
Her dad.
Just
Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
her dad's
step-
Her
hosting.
dad's having a baby.
Yes.
Well,
Her dad's wife is having a child.
He's such a
and
semantic
this
boy.
is the gender reveal party for that baby.
What Dan said.
Just give
Her
Dan
dad's
the rest.
gender reveal party.
Yeah, basically, in summary.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying.
Big Sky River.
Big Sky River, the bridal.
Hey.
And she's sad when her dad says, "I'm finally getting the son I always wanted." He's surprised later on in the movie to hear that bummed her out.
Out of the year.
The country artist that we all remember from the first movie. I know I don't have to remind you, the listener, who this is, but it's Casey. It's her name. Casey is greeted by an old love,
Jojo.
an old fling. I didn't write down his name. I didn't know how. That's Jojo.
Jojo, yeah.
Casey and Jojo. At the time of writing, I didn't know how important he was going to be. Honestly, still don't know how important he is. Boone and Tara go out to Big Sky River. They go on that boulder. That boulder. That's a nice boulder. That boulder. Yeah. And he proposes. And so in order to make room, have enough room,
she says yes.
She says yes.
That's right.
And now we're on the bridal path.
Now we're on the bridal. That's right.
And so in order to fit all these kids, because he's got 2 kids, she has the stepdaughter.
Yeah.
They're gonna move into a big house together.
Big house. Yeah.
A big. Dan.
No.
No, hold on.
I should have never said anything.
No, because here's the thing. You know houses.
I do know houses.
I always say that about you. You know houses.
I do know houses.
And I'm just wondering, how big do you think a house needs to be in order to fit 2 adults and 3 kids?
I think there needs to be a pretty substantial amount of room in the house.
Like how much room?
I would classify it at least as lots and lots of room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say at the very least 1 sizable table.
Sizable.
Yeah, like a big table.
Yeah.
Because,
well, you have to fit all the food on there.
Yeah, lots and lots of food.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I was going to ballpark it, I would say that you would need a yard as well. Yeah.
But any size will do.
Yeah, a big yard.
Oh, you want it to be a big one?
Big yard.
For what reason would you possibly need?
Toss the old pigskin around.
All right, great.
It's my father's
Do you
house.
have? Dang it. Do you have a
My
house?
father's house.
Do you have one in
My
mind?
father's
All right. Well. So Tara and Boone start to realize that they got some stuff they got to work on, especially when it comes to parenting. Because here's the thing: there is another storyline going on here that we don't need to get into really, but Erin, the stepdaughter, I'm going to get into it, I guess. Erin, the stepdaughter, has been hanging out with the foreign exchange students who speaks better English than I do.
Me llamo.
And the guy, Mateo, and the guy that likes her,
American.
the guy that likes her, his name is Dawson.
And he's got a
creek
McAllister.
down by the creek.
Dawson McAllister Live. And so Dawson's like jealous, and so Dawson's like, I'm gonna get in my truck and drive. And Boone pulls him over. And
you were lost.
That bums that that bums Erin out. Erin gets mad at Boone and is like, "That's my friend!" And Boone's like, "Go to you gotta eat your food before you talk to me like that," something like that. He's really mad she's not eating the pizza, and they yell at each other. And Tara's like, "You can't do that. You can't just yell at her. She's a girl." That's Tara's words. And Boone is like, "I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?" But ultimately, they make up and they decide, why wait for marriage? This seems to be going so well. Let's go faster and harder into marriage. And so they get married right then and there one day. They invite some friends over for what they're calling a makeup.
Right then and there one day.
One day.
Yes.
They call all their friends over for a makeup dinner. That makeup dinner turns into them coming over a hill on horses.
Did you say horse?
Yeah.
Says?
I did. Hey, Rig, how are you?
Horses.
Yeah.
Because the plural of horse is horses.
Right. So no problems here.
No problems here at
Great.
all.
All right,
but I feel like there was some sort of pregnant pause there waiting for me to come on in.
Well, you just typically, when anyone talks about a horse, for some reason you pipe
Horses,
up.
no, horses are good. I would never confuse them.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Have
It's
you
like
ever?
you don't care.
Have you ever ridden a horse?
Did you say horse?
Okay. So they decide
No
they're going to
way.
get. They decide they're going to get married. They do get married, and I think that's just about it. Yeah, they get married, they kiss, and that, my friends, was Big Sky River, the bright, come on, Bridal. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about this movie here on the Hallmark. Well, hi, everybody. It's great to be back here. Wonderful time for breaks and a wonderful time on the other side of the break to remind you that you can watch our show, every single episode of our show, right here on Philo. Hopefully you're doing that, and if you are, you see what I'm doing right now. It's wild.
We won't tell anybody else.
How am I able to do that? This is a miracle. This is...
And also, by doing that, you brought up the hot
take.
That's right.
This is the hot take. It's where
producer Aaron's trying to move us along over here.
It is not working,
She's
boys.
like, this is so dumb. If I click this, maybe they'll go to the next thing.
More than fair. It's time. Yeah.
Oh, good gosh.
We're fine.
Yeah.
It's time for the hot take. It's where we share how we felt about this movie. Brian, what do you think?
Okay. So I actually kind of like.
No.
Lachlan Moreau is a treasure, first of all. It was great to see Lachlan Moreau. I kind of like being back in Parable. It was kind of nice. Having various storylines going worked for me a lot. Like, if this was a straight shot...
Do you just take a bunch of drugs and watch these movies? Are you doing this
I went into this with the lowest of expectations. I wasn't looking forward to it all that much, especially we had the Safari movie this weekend. We were all pretty hyped about that.
Woo!
And I sat down and watched this, and just as we were cruising through, I was having a good time with it. I didn't mind it at all. I thought that the storylines worked. You know what it was, I think, is the music, man. When there's original music and like I can vibe to the music, it covers a lot of stuff for me. And also the stuff with the kids and the dead mother, it's almost not fair. Like that stuff just works. Like they do a really good job with that, I think. That if you just tiny little like bit of the whole movie, they do a good job with that. And so that is always impressive to me. The songwriting, great. If I could use a word from our favorite exchange student would say, I would call it magnificent.
Excellent.
So some of the parent-child stuff I'm sure we'll get into was not great. But, you know, it left me with one overwhelming feeling. And maybe I had this in the back of my mind that was driving, like, my feelings, making me feel a little better. Like, I'm just ready for fall. Like, if this were a fall movie, I think I would have had a blast.
A bag of leaves can help a lot.
Oh, man. You see some leaves down there. It's all getting chilly. That would have helped a lot.
It's getting chilly.
But I thought it was pretty good. And I really am ready for fall now, though.
Did you watch the first one?
I did, and I looked at my notes, and I didn't mind that one at all. I thought it was pretty decent as well.
Huh.
So, but I think I like this one a little bit more than the first one, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot more songwriting in this one, and that does a lot for me. It does a lot.
What a take.
I know.
That's scalding.
I surprised myself.
You say what you will about Brian Harold. That take is scalding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I don't really care about this movie, really. I don't care about these characters, and I'd be fine. I think what has happened here is I didn't expect to be put in this situation to begin with.
Nobody asked for this.
I didn't think there would be a second one, so I had forgotten that this movie existed, and then I'm suddenly thrust into the position of care again, and it's tough. When you aren't anticipating caring, it's tough to care. Had I had a year to plan, I could have. If they set it up and they're like, there's another one coming in a year, I could have potentially gotten here. Mm-hmm. You're right. I didn't dislike the song stuff. The music was good in this movie. But boy, all of the parenting stuff was just a tough slog. And I just disagree with almost everything that Cavan said in this movie, his character. I just disagreed with most of it. So yeah, that's tough. It's tough when you didn't plan on caring about these characters ever again, and then you're forced to. That's what happened, and here we are today, unfortunately. Dan.
You guys remember when like Hallmark Movies and Mysteries made mystery series? Like we'd be like cracking a case and solving a murder. That was fun. Now we're getting Big Sky River 2, The Bridal Path. Guys, there are, I think, 5 storylines in this movie. And the romance wedding storyline is maybe the C plot line or D plot line. It gets so little screen time, it's absurd. Aside from one song that is a banger, none of these plot lines, none of them work. Lachlan Monroe is not in this movie until the end of it. He's not in it. To say that we like Lachlan Monroe, great. He's not in the movie. It doesn't matter if we like him or not. Kevin Smith's a terrible father and fiance at the same time. This movie's a mess. And to Brand's point, no one asked for this movie. I get sequels sometimes get made because there's money in them. Of all the movies that we could get a sequel for that we've watched, the 640 TV movies that we've watched in Deck the Hallmark history, to get a sequel to this one seems just like a crime. It is, no one asked for it. No one wanted it. I didn't remember half the characters. The ones I did remember, I kind of remembered wrong. It's a mess. One of the worst of the year. And it commits the cardinal sin of being boring. And to be a sequel and be boring, it's like, the first one wasn't a big deal. Why did we make this movie? Why, like, you make 3 Wise Men and a Baby 2 or 3 Wise Men and a Baby 6 or whatever. It's like, okay, we didn't need this, but I understand why it was made. There's just no good reason for this to exist. It was really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the opposite Lil Tay. Because for Lil Tay, I didn't know about it. Then I knew about it, and I was bummed I wasn't going to get to know anymore. But now I do. Now Lil Tay's alive.
Lil Tay's alive.
It's time for...
We do not have her on the line. I've been told.
It's time for...
Under any circumstance.
All the feels. Say it together.
All
the feels. That's where we share exactly the feels we had. Brian.
None. Merry Christmas. Right after the break. Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Aside from the stuff with the kids and their mom being dead, like that worked for me. Whenever that thought came up, that's sad. That's big sad.
Okay, thank you for finally getting to it being sad, because what you did say is it worked for me.
Yeah,
the sad.
That's right.
It was effectively
these kids
sad.
mad that their mom is.
Anytime
dead
I thought about the fact that their mom was dead, big fan.
Really worked for me.
Yeah, no, they did that. Really
the opposite.
There was one scene in particular that really touched me, and it was when the dad, I forget his name, Peter Benson's character.
Yes.
Her dad. She calls him to wish him a happy birthday. And on his birthday, he's sitting on his couch. His wife's in bed. He's drinking a glass of wine by himself, and he's just reading. And I just looked at that and I said, man, what a great birthday night. Wow, that's a perfect birthday night. Like, one of my favorite birthday nights was I was home alone. Diana was out with the kids or something, and I've rented a movie on Amazon, and I just
Do
sat
you just
there.
not like people?
Man, it was just, I need to, I
My
need time
perfect
alone.
birthday night is when I don't hear from my family or friends.
Nobody wished me a happy birthday. I took my birthday on Facebook so nobody knows. All that's it was great.
I know what it is. I can tell everybody right now.
Yeah, you could. You sure could. It's around Christmas time.
It's like a December 29th-ish.
Yeah.
Could be any of those days.
It could be right around there.
Did you play The Sims at all?
No Sims for me. Just watched a movie. Had probably a Coors Original or something like that.
Oh, gee.
Coors Original, a banquet beer?
Banquet beer. That used to be my
Dude, you and I on our birthdays should just hang out in silence together and just drink a banquet beer.
best birthday. I mean, throw some cribbage in there.
I've never played cribbage, so.
I'll teach you, and then I'll crush you until the day
my
that I teach you
gosh.
so well.
Calm down
that
there.
You beat me.
Yeah, and then
My
you get stuck in
grandfather.
VR. I know how this goes. I know how this goes. So I think I would be okay sitting on a rock surrounded by water. Dan.
I would love to see Brand sitting on a rock surrounded by water.
We'll be right back here on Deck the
He
Hallmark.
would be okay. Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Bless you.
Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Big Sky River. Bridal Band. It's time for the...
Wait,
what?
What was it?
I was gonna say hot take.
Yeah, I just was just looking on my phone doing other things. And I heard hot take, and I realized I was wrong. I was like, "Hey, what?
Wait, what?" It's where we talk about one of the 2 minutes go. Wait, one. I'll start with you, Brian. Brian.
We've already mentioned. I mean, the exchange student who said he's from Madrid, and I just wrote
Stop
Madrid,
it.
Ohio,
Yes.
because just not even.
He
There's
speaks
no
better than me.
world. They give this kid the name Mateo.
Yeah.
English is his first language.
100%.
There's nothing about him that's a foreign exchange student.
No.
Just absurd.
Yeah, absolutely absurd. Like,
Crazy
why
town.
are we doing that? Like,
No.
just had to have somebody from out of town. Couldn't he just be the new
It's a
kid?
new student. Yeah.
Man.
Easy.
So the kids, this bugged me afterwards. I was reflecting on how the kids were talking, and they just didn't say the word literally enough. Like, my kids can't ask for breakfast without saying literally over and over. It's always like,
Really?
I'm literally so hungry. They just are on this literally kick, and I can't stand
my
it.
kids don't really say that.
Oh, man. It must be...
Seems very specific for you
Yeah.
and
It
your
might
situation.
be, but they
It seems
just
like
say
you've really taken
literally.
this episode as a chance to just like talk about like how things are
Yeah.
going with you.
Sure. This movie spoke to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just, for some reason, I expected the kids to say literally more. I don't know why. Something like
Literally.
that. Boone, literally.
That's literally one of the worst wait whats I've ever heard. They didn't say a word enough. That's
Yeah.
You believe this guy ordered a
Just-
beer at the bar?
Yeah. Just order a beer. Boone still continuing to maintain the title of sheriff with not a lot of sheriffing.
No.
He did more in this one than the
No.
last one.
He did.
He
It's
did
correct.
more. Last one he did nothing except
Very
wear a
little.
uniform.
Correct.
And
Yes.
just two related to the male songwriter. I wish we had his name. I don't know his name either.
PJ.
PJ, it's got it. Yeah, that sounds right. He jumped on stage in the middle of a song and started just singing along with
That's right.
a mic that was perfectly mixed
Yeah.
to
he
just sing
nailed it.
along with her, which he never. And also, he woke up the next morning after a night after the muse struck him, being up all night playing, writing a song, and there wasn't a single bottle, whiskey, beer,
Nothing.
or not a
No.
water.
This
like,
guy's never
no.
played
nothing.
country music
Yeah,
in his
give me a
life.
No
break.
way.
So,
No way.
I mean, you just need one bottle on the
Yeah,
table,
something.
anything, nothing, or an ashtray. Like, I don't know,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah,
shows
yeah.
that you were
Some
up
sort of
writing
vice.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Tara at one point is sawing a cucumber. There is this motion
Yeah.
going on the cucumber, which, given the size of the knife, I think could have been accomplished with a standard cut.
Just a
but
classic.
she insisted on sawing the cucumber, and I'm fine with that. So we talked about this. I didn't really know how to take this line, but Tara is talking to Casey, the country singer.
Yeah.
And she says, I just want my man to propose. And Casey says, you and everybody else in this town. Now, there's two ways
Yeah.
to take this. One
Yeah.
is that we all want our man to propose.
Yep.
The other is everybody in this town is dying for the sheriff
Yeah.
to propose to Tara. And I don't know which way they meant it.
Or to them.
Or to them. We all want Boone. The dream is for
Yeah,
Boone
yeah.
to propose to us.
Everybody talks about it nonstop. When's the sheriff going to
When
propose?
the sheriff's going to propose to me? Everybody in this town just wants Boone
They've
to
known
just...
each other max a year.
Yeah. Last but not least, another thing that I thought about while after he woke up after a night of not drinking, and playing the music is that's the biggest capo I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This good guy's guitar has the biggest capo. Take it to the tape. It's ginormous. Dano?
I hate gender reveal parties for the where they do the thing where they're like, I got a balloon, I'm gonna toss it up, hit it with a baseball bat, and if it's and I hate them because we're celebrating no matter what. And so what all I have reduced this entire party down to is looking at the reaction of the father to see if there's a hint of that's not what I really wanted. And that's not what they're for. I think we could just celebrate having a baby without having to do this. But when you have a gender reveal party and the first balloon you pop is a joke prank balloon before you pop the real one and you don't tell anybody, that seems like you've taken yourself a bit too far. I don't know why you would have this whole thing. Nobody wants to be there anyway. Nobody wants to come to your gender reveal party. And then you do a bit where you pop a balloon and you're like, JK, that's not the real gender. Got him. And I thought it was awful. I thought it was just terrible. And I hated every second of that. This dude twice outside of Casey's house holds up a speaker like from the movie Say Anything with John Cusack. And he's playing a song that he is singing. He's playing his own music as a romantic gesture.
Pretty BA, to be honest with you.
That is a move.
I wish I had that confidence.
That is a move right there. To play your own music as a romantic gesture of you yourself singing. That's something. I want to get this straight. we don't meet the guy unless it was Lachlan Monroe. Do we meet the person that lets Mateo borrow the car?
I don't think so.
No.
We don't meet this guy.
Yeah.
This guy, Big Sky River's in Montana,
Big Sky
correct?
River.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the Big Sky
This
River.
guy is an old dude who lives in Montana, and a 17-year-old foreign exchange student rolls into town, and he's like, take my classic car out. No way.
What a guy.
No way, no how. This guy's like, this car's my baby. It's Cherry. He's not letting a 17-year-old take his car out. Anyone, his grandkid maybe. A 17-year-old he doesn't know? Definitely not. One that just moved into town this week? No, that's just not happening. There's no way. The big way in this movie is that Kevin Smith's supposed to be the good guy and he's a monster. He blames this poor 16-year-old girl for the fact that a dude took his dad's truck and drove it and then got caught. He blames this little girl for that. He basically gaslights this girl into thinking that somehow her riding in a car with a dude driving legally made this dude drive his dad's truck, and it's all her fault. And you know what? It's bad that he does it, but not surprising. And then later I'm like, he's going to apologize. And he doesn't apologize. Instead, he basically is like, you know what? That's just the way I am. You're going to have to get used to it. And we're all supposed to smile about that. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Like this poor teenage girl who actually doesn't live with either of her biological parents now has a new stepdad that is gaslighting her into believing that the actions of a teenage boy are her fault. Absurd. And they just play it off like normal in this movie. And then I'm just going to leave it there.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe haven't given some clear questions we still have. Brian?
Yeah, there it is. I was going to talk about what an impressive man and father Boone was, but scratch that real quick. I'll just say my big question was they were going to sell she was going to stop her renting the house. He was going to sell his house. They were going to move into this other house.
Yeah.
But they never really said, like she said, we haven't signed a lease yet. Like, are they going to lease that house or are they buying that house?
I thought they were buying it.
I would assume they're buying it.
Because they did a thing where it's like, can't believe it's still in the market. There was a realtor sign out front. Like,
yeah, but she said we haven't signed a lease yet. Yeah. So just a stupid little thing like that threw me off for the rest of the movie. Because I'm like, are they leasing or are they buying? What's going on here? Like, it just drove me kind of nuts. So.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this poor girl heard her father say, the son I always wanted.
Yeah.
And I know they've talked through it, but I have to imagine this comes up a few more times. Like, he's living with them, like he's giving him the time, never gave me the time. I would like to think that Peter Benson's character is turning it around as far as being a father, being a present father is concerned. Let's just see how it plays out. But I think that's a tough thing to say in front of somebody else.
In front of other people.
And I don't, I have to imagine that's going to be a source of tension.
Sure.
And I think it's enough of a source of tension for a third Big Sky River. I don't mean
no. When they are prepping to leave their farm, ranch, whatever, there's a post on the side of the door frame that has the lines where they're all like their height. And the top one says dad, and that line is 4 inches taller than Kevin Smith. Guys,
where's dad?
Like, yeah. Do they have a different dad?
They're also stepkids.
Or when they made the movie, did they not bother to have Kevin Smith stand there and draw a line at his height? It was very weird that it is a noticeable difference between the height of dad and the height of Kevin Smith. And I have questions about that.
There you go.
That's all I got.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We're going to be back tomorrow with When Calls to Heart and Friday with another exciting edition of Fast Fridays. Until then, may we be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.